There is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission.
We've been fighting a long time, and we've all lost so very much, so many loved ones gone. You are not alone. There are pockets of resistance all around the planet. We are at the brink. Above all, stay alive. You have no idea how important you are. If you're listening to this, you are the resistance.
Welcome back to the broadcast.
Who the hell do you think you are?
My name is Max Powell. Let's give it up for me, goddammit. Welcome back and thank you for tuning in. Wonderful show we call the BBR Network Broadcast. And I don't mean we as in me and my multiple personalities, no.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Well, first, let me introduce you to the BBR Bagman. Hello, sir. Good evening to you.
Good evening to you, or good afternoon, or good morning, depending on when you're listening to this.
Time is irrelevant, as we always say. It's a broken system to begin with. And somebody who can always let us know exactly what time it is the one and only Preacher Man himself. Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening. Time is a construct, so it doesn't matter.
I wholeheartedly agree. And as someone who suffers from the side effects of too much time travel, I don't have a witty comment to come back from that because I'm half awake right now, waiting for this pre-workout to kick in. But I want to thank you, the listening audience, for listening. Shout out to the 3D printer in the background. Yes, we are printing as we always are when we do these recordings because it's just on brand for what we do around here. You know, we like 3D printing and other how do you do's, and something we definitely want to talk about tonight is me turning off this stupid YouTube video that my phone just decided to play out of nowhere as I try to mute the fucking thing. But hey, like I said, I'm out of practice being behind the microphone. It's been a while. Anyway, Breath of the Wildfires is this title because a lot's been going on here. We have been having a wildfire here in New Jersey that has been allegedly started by something known as dragon's breath. And before we get into those details, can you guys tell me exactly what dragon's breath is?
It's a novelty shotgun round that I believe uses magnesium to create a giant fireball out the muzzle of the shotgun. I've heard people claim that it's for signaling in the wild in case of an emergency. But it is absolutely a pyrotechnic. Like there's a lot of fire that comes out when those things go off. And they say right on the packaging, like, do not use indoors, do not use in an unsafe environment, all these things. And apparently some Yahoo in New Jersey decided to play I'm Not Helping and thought it would be cool to fire one of those off at a public range.
In the middle of a drought.
About the illegal ammunition investigators say caused another wildfire in Ocean County.
Dragon's Breath is a shotgun round, almost only made in the 12-gauge caliber.
The Ocean County Prosecutor's Office says magnesium shards of a Dragon's Breath ignited a wildfire in Jackson Township last week when 37-year-old Richard Shashady allegedly fired a rifle at a range near Six Flags Great Adventure.
Basically, it's an incendiary round that uses burning magnesium, which is extremely hot to come out, and it looks like a flamethrower. So it's going to be a big, long line of flame, about 20 to 40 yards long, and then when it lands, it can still cause fire.
The New Jersey Forest Fire Service says the wildfire grew to 350 acres, threatened more than 24 structures, and forced some to temporarily evacuate their homes.
So it's not just magnesium, it's magnesium flakes as well as pellets. If you ever watch a video of it going off, you'll see a spread, and you'll see an initial flame and then flame continuing to shoot out. So it's the powder sets off the magnesium charge. The magnesium charge lights up. That sets off the pellets that are inside, which are also magnesium, and then they go flying. In one of my previous jobs, we used to use magnesium charges to weld grounding cables for cell phone towers. So, you know, it burns hot and fast and melts anything around it. So, yeah, setting one of those off in the middle of a drought on a public range is probably not, you're not helping.
And if I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, like they're not legal in this state of New Jersey, correct?
I don't know. I don't live in that state.
That's true. I figured a Bagman would chime in. Because a couple
I,
of the
I
articles I read said that they're not legal in this state.
Yeah, it's fun and it's kind of cool, so it's probably illegal in New Jersey, but until you can actually cite a chapter and verse in 2C, um, yeah, it's just hearsay. I don't know if it's illegal or not, right? But the way New Jersey is, it's probably restricted.
Do they come in the various shotgun range, not ranges, calibers as well? Or is it like one?
We'd
I
have to look
believe
it up.
it's-
Usually they're just 12 gauge.
I think it's only 12 gauge.
Okay.
Now they have varying versions, right? There's Dragon's Breath, there's Super Dragon's Breath, there's Dragon's Breath with buckshot in it, which
Son of Dragon's Breath, Return of Dragon's Breath,
Yeah.
Dragon's Breath 3.
which are 3-inch shells.
Got that halitosis round in there too, don't they?
Your mama's Dragon's Breath. Yeah.
The flash. They have a white phosphorus flashbang round.
So
I think it's phosphorus.
is there any hey, this look cool reasons for it? I mean, Bagman did say that, they're allegedly
Absolutely
signaling,
not.
but I didn't. Yeah.
No.
There's no real-
Absolutely not. Right? Like, if you had a 12 gauge flare, that's for signaling. Dragon's Breath is a novelty round. That's all there is to it. And to claim it's for anything else, I think, is being facetious.
What kind of range do you get from that, I guess, shot, so to speak?
About 100 yards, or I'm sorry, 100 feet
Oh, wow.
on average.
That's what they claim. All the, and I don't know how far it went the one time we shot it, but I think it's closer to 50 feet. But again, it doesn't take much when you're launching that stuff, because here's the thing: the main body of that fireball might only go 50 feet, but one of those pellets can certainly go farther.
Right.
And if it didn't ignite right away and kind of ignited partway through the movement for whatever reason, now that thing is traveling farther than expected and lighting up later. And yeah, it's a hazardous thing to play with.
And those
Right.
magnesium pellets are burning at 3,000 to 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit
While traveling.
while traveling.
Nice to meet you, folks. Fire Marshal Bill here.
Won't you come in?
Don't mind if I do.
Wow, a real fireman.
That's right, princess.
So it doesn't take much to hit a dry patch of grass and sit there and smolder and then just take off, as is probably was the case here.
Or immediately ignite everything around you, and you then panic and don't know what to do because you didn't have a plan. You were showing off at the range with your Yahoo friends, doing dumb shit because that's what's fun for you, and we give no thought to how it impacts anybody else or how it makes the rest of an already uphill battle in New Jersey look. So good job.
Let me show you something.
I was gonna bring that up. Listen, New Jersey's not a great place for gun owners already, and here you have some guy who wasn't thinking and burned down, I believe it was 350 acres. 25 homes had to be evacuated. I don't think any of the homes burnt, but it doesn't matter. All people are looking at now is, well, this public range just burnt down 350 acres,
Right.
including all their outdoor ranges.
Yeah. Like the only range, because one of our members is down that way, is keeping track of this. And he's got the briefs from the official briefs from the range that only their indoor pistol range is open at this point, and members should avoid the other spaces and not get in the way of the firefighters that are still coming and going, trying to deal with this mess that this jerk off made. Yeah, just carelessness, right? And it's stupid. And then at the same time, Whether you think this is coincidence or not, New Jersey's Attorney General is suing a couple of shops for selling ammunition without performing some sort of background check. I don't know what you're supposed to do on rifle ammo, but the one article I read said that their undercover personnel were able to buy a box of 20 rounds of AR-15 ammunition and a pistol magazine. And like on this side of the border, we laugh. We go, okay, those two things are completely unregulated. Who cares? And of course, the headline is they made it as easy as buying a loaf of bread. Well, it fucking should be.
Attorney General Matt Platkin says New Jersey is on track to have its second consecutive year of the lowest level of gun violence in state history. To keep it that way, Platkin is doubling down on gun safety initiatives, today announcing the filing of 2 new lawsuits against New Jersey gun stores that violated state law for selling ammunition to buyers without checking ID or permits. It stems from 4 separate incidents this year. Platkin says Butch's Gun World in Vineland and Point Blank Guns in East Hanover sold large quantities of AR-15 rifle and handgun ammunition magazines to undercover investigators without first making the legally required checks. State law mandates customers buying ammunition to have a permit for a firearm. Platkin today said there's a reason New Jersey is one of the safest states in the country when it comes to gun violence.
And with today's lawsuits, we're once again reminding them that we will hold you accountable if you put our residents at risk. I simply will not tolerate lax and reckless business practices in the firearms industry or any industry that make our residents unsafe. These are the very kinds of practices that can lead to the next deadly mass shooting.
Right? You should be able to put that stuff in a vending machine.
Isn't that a thing
because
somewhere?
It's not regulated.
Didn't somebody say that they saw a vending machine somewhere? I think it was maybe
needs
Texas.
to be.
I think something like that. I remember. I don't know. Maybe that's just one of those.
Oh no, it was the. I know what you're talking about. It was the gumball machines. They had 9mm in a gumball machine.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's another one. One of the ranges someplace has an actual vending machine, and there's boxes of ammo in there the way you would put candy bars in like the spiral dispensers.
So I'm reading.
It needs to be a thing everywhere.
I'm reading this article about it, and I'm not going to say the name of the stores, but it says a salesperson sold a box of 223, which another article references basically a 20-round box, and a handgun magazine to a first-time buyer, quote unquote. And then I guess they sent in another snitch, and supposedly bought a 1,000-round case of 223. So
what?
So now,
only in a stupid state like New Jersey would that matter. And here's the other thing. You notice there's no criminal charges being brought. The Attorney General is suing them. That's different. And I think that's an important distinction to make here. The Attorney General is now using government resources to file lawsuits, frivolous suits as far as I'm concerned, against these small business owners to try to put them under. And again, it goes back to the process is the penalty. It doesn't matter that what you did was completely legal. We're going to drag your ass through court and make your life miserable and destroy your livelihood because we don't like you. That's really the message from the New Jersey Attorney General. It's disgusting.
I noticed the wording used by the couple of articles I referenced in the network when I wanted to talk about this tonight, that they always put high capacity AR-15 ammunition in that sentence, or highly lethal.
Yep.
You know, when
the kind of ammunition used in mass shootings across the country.
Right.
Horse shit.
It's definitely a scare tactic. It's definitely an extreme fear-mongering media play to hype this all up. And it's been a while since I bought ammo in a store, but I don't remember if you have to show your FID or not.
I believe for handgun ammunition, you have to show FID and you have to sign their book. Like they have to track the purchase of handgun ammunition.
Okay.
The part that's laughable is in both cases, this was rifle ammunition. So you don't have to sign the book. And there is nothing, as far as I know, and maybe we can, somebody will chime in, but as far as I know, there's nothing in the New Jersey Criminal Code about any requirements to purchase ammunition other than being of age, right? I think you have to be 18 to buy ammunition in New Jersey.
But that would be
and probably 21 for handgun ammo, but that's rifle ammo, so it should be a non-issue. The other thing is the pistol magazine is completely unregulated.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, they're throwing that in there as if it's just as
if
deadly
it's
as
something.
the ammo. Yeah.
Well, again, so these are gun shops, right? They're probably FFLs. They probably sell firearms there. They couldn't get them on a firearms charge because they followed the law and made everybody do all the dumb shit and do their additional background checks and fill out their 4473s and everything else that you have to do in New Jersey, right? And your instant criminal background check that may take up to a week, which is not instant.
Yeah.
But they couldn't get them on anything serious. So now they're trumping up some bullshit and filing civil suits against them.
Yeah. For, quote, a high-velocity military standard rifle ammunition.
223 is not. That's the other thing.
Which is, yeah.
That is a false description of the 223 round. It's a damn lie. And yet nobody gets to call these people out on their bullshit. Whether it's the editorial input from the person who wrote the article, or if that's actually in the documents that the AG is filing, it's still bullshit.
The lawsuit aims to enforce compliance with New Jersey's firearms public nuisance legislation, which mandates that retailers conduct due diligence to prevent sales to individuals prohibited from possessing firearms or ammunition. What is due diligence?
That's about as ambiguous as you get. Due diligence is whatever they want it to be.
Right. It's legal to sell, and I have no reason to believe there was anything prohibiting him, right? And here's the thing. If they're from the Attorney General's office, they're probably cops.
They probably look like cops, like, Right. It's probably obvious. Like, what did you do to identify the guy? Look at him. He looks like a cop. Come on now.
Right.
Yeah.
I hope these gun shops have security footage of the guy coming in and just looks like every bad cop stereotype, from the bad haircut to the body type, the Tom McCann shoes, the whole damn thing.
Tom McCann. Oh my God. Is that still a brand? Jesus.
I don't think so.
You're dating yourself there, Bagman. I'm about to slice you in half and count the rings. Jesus Lord. Amazing.
Yeah, but we all laughed.
That's very true. You're right on that. Preacher, you're right on that. No, I bet you they won't
count your own rings.
They won't release it because they still want to be able to send these guys into other gun shops to see if they fall for the same stupid traps that they can publicize this about. Like, essentially like undercover agents, We got to make sure so you won't see the security footage because, again, they're going to look very obvious to begin with. They either look like cops or they probably dressed up in the gray man costume. It's like, go in there looking like the gray man and see if you can ground. And I do find it also noticeable and noteworthy that the 1,000-round case, the 1,000 rounds that they're like, and I remember there being something with New Jersey really tracking, either New Jersey doing it or credit cards. Like 1,000 rounds was a checkbox.
Right. That was New Jersey, that if you bought a certain amount of ammunition, they could investigate. But they never specified how much it was in a single purchase.
I thought it was 1,000 rounds. I thought it was 1,000 rounds.
No, because I if I remember correctly, that's how it got dumped, because they wanted to know what the number was when whatever group went and pushed back against it, and they wouldn't come up with a number. I want to say that was through the state police, but they wouldn't give them an actual number. Is it 1,000? Is it 999? Is it 1,001? What's the magic number? Is it anything over 100 rounds? Because when you buy a box of 22, they're ripping you off at this point, and it's 325 rounds in a box, right? It used to be a 500 round brick.
Yeah.
Or if you were buying it from Federal, it was 525, because 25 probably didn't work.
The article goes on to say, no permits or credentials were sought, and all of these purchasers were new to the store, and they made all these purchases in cash. All right, there's nothing illegal about cash.
What?
There's nothing illegal about somebody going into the to the store for the first time. And it says no permits or credentials were sought. Now, had that been against the law, they would say it in the article.
Oh, they would have arrested them.
Right.
But they didn't arrest them. It's an investigation, and they're filing civil suit.
It's a civil suit, not a criminal charge, which tells you the whole thing is bullshit. We don't like it. We want to sue you, and they don't have a leg to stand on. But if they get in front of the right judge who sides with the AG because they're part of the same political BS, then here we go. We're going for, you're going for a long ride of litigation.
And
not many people can afford to come up with the funds necessary to battle a state. That's really what you're talking about.
The punishment is the fight.
Yeah.
Well, sure.
No, the punishment is the shutting down of your business.
With the 10 to 12% of your income that they take before you get it for the state, and then the 7% sales tax that they take on everything you buy, they now use that money that you had to pay them, that they extorted from you. They use that money to abuse you further.
I think if this was a liquor store that had an underage person buying alcohol, which we know is illegal, they would have closed the store down. But I don't think that they did that because, again, they didn't break the law.
And filed criminal charges, right? There's a statute that you can cite that you violated, right? Whether it's right or wrong, right? And I don't think that law should be on the books. Look, the Second Amendment's very clear. We're not going to get that far into the weeds on this. But the bottom line is this AG is rogue and is playing the same games as the previous AG who did the same kind of nonsense. And I remember that one specifically because they went after a company I dealt with out in, I want to say they're in Nevada. But they had they had cops buying full capacity magazines. I get caught using their own bullshit language too.
Yeah.
It's not a high capacity magazine. A 30 round AR magazine is a standard capacity magazine, right? That's what it's designed for. It's not any mystical, magical weapon of mass destruction. That's all BS. But they had cops try to purchase magazines from this company and have them shipped into New Jersey, which New Jersey prohibits. They shouldn't. It's nonsense, whatever. And it wasn't until they identified themselves as law enforcement that the company agreed to send them to them. And then they charged them. Right. So
law enforcement's allowed to have.
But they played the loophole, and then they went after him anyway. And that's why, as far as I know, it didn't stick.
But again, the punishment is the fight.
Right. How much did that lawsuit cost that company?
Correct. And the cease and desist and smearing your name and everything else, right? Because they put all that right in the front page of the article. They make sure to name the shop. They make sure to name the company. They make sure to name whoever they can to try to shame you into compliance. And that's all it is. This is the tyranny that you've been warned about forever. It's right there, alive and well in New Jersey, and it's gross. And the part that kills me are the dorks commenting on these articles talking about, well, I don't see what the problem is. Of course you don't. You're an idiot. You're a bootlicking, statist, soft-ass punk.
You disloyal, fool-ass, bitch-made punk.
It's Stockholm Syndrome. And Preacher and I were talking about this offline earlier, that New Jersey historically has been a problem from day one. Like, if you go back to the founding of this country, New Jersey was not on board with leaving the colonies and becoming a free nation. They were going to keep paying taxes to the crown and just roll over.
Oh, and you saw that in numbers of volunteers to fight, and versus how many people, helped the British back then.
And apparently, at this point, it's just tradition to kiss the crown's ass in New Jersey. And you've got a lot of people that are holding on to that tradition.
There's a reason Washington crossed the Delaware into Jersey.
Right? Because he knew it needed to be liberated? Yeah.
We'll have to keep an eye out for this story to see if there's any further, I don't want to call it progression, but the story has to end somewhere, and it probably won't be in the news when all the charges get dropped, or not even a charge, when the lawsuit gets settled out of court, because it's going to be bullshit. And if anything, the stores are going to have to pay court fees, because that's what they do. Even when you beat them, they still make you pay the fucking court fees. And some lawyers going to... I'm curious if there's going to be any advocacy groups that come out to help the stores. If
they don't. They've kind of abandoned New Jersey for the most part.
No, that's not true. No, you still have N.J.A.G, the Association of New Jersey Rifle and Pistol Clubs, which is the New Jersey chapter of the National Rifle Association. They are very active. They've got some good lawyers involved in that I'm sure are going to reach out to them. Evan Knappen is still very active in New Jersey. There's a handful of other attorneys that are fighting the good fight in New Jersey. You've got the Coalition of New Jersey Firearms Owners. If I know that particular crew at all, they are going to find a way to assist in the fight. N.J.A.G that I haven't heard much from lately will probably get involved, and there's some other heavy hitters in New Jersey that I guarantee are going to put some muscle behind this.
Does some of your larger organizations tend to go into Jersey to help out with that? And again,
if you're asking about like GOA and NRA, I don't know. Right.
Okay.
I know there are members of the legislative team that are active in New Jersey from NRA, but I don't know if they get involved in this part of it.
The litigation.
Right. They're more, dealing with politicians than they are the other stuff. So yeah, the fight's never over in New Jersey, unfortunately. I mean, if you look at when Bruin came through and Phil Murphy immediately trotted out his Bruin response, well, you can't. The whole point was everything you're doing is illegal and unconstitutional, and you're going to go, well, here's the new bullshit we want to try.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Shit, I'm saying.
It's not all bad news, though. Preacher, you're going to have to be the man in the chair real quick, because I'm not sure where this just happened, but some state just got their assault weapons ban and magazine capacity restriction knocked down by their Supreme Court, which again, hopefully sets a precedent for a place like New Jersey that has an assault weapons ban and a magazine capacity restriction. Somebody got spanked by the Supreme Court and had their assault weapons ban and magazine capacity restrictions stuck down.
In their brief at the 7th Circuit from Cook County, Illinois, the government seriously tried to argue that literally. Yeah, this is on FPC. I'm going to butcher this name, but it's Veramontes v. Cook County, Illinois. Assault weapons ban lawsuit, that one?
Sounds about right, yeah. I couldn't remember off the top of my head, but I was pretty sure.
Yeah.
So again...
FPC again.
That's a big one. FPC is kicking some ass. If we can get them involved in New Jersey, things are going to be real good.
Yeah.
And I'm watching...
Veramontes versus Cook County.
A handful of people in the Commonwealth here in Pennsylvania who want to create new restrictions on things that they have no authority to create restrictions on. And I laugh because it comes up every so often that Pennsylvania has a constitution, a state constitution that says the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be questioned. Point blank, period. And I think it's high time when politicians attempt to violate citizens' civil rights like that, there needs to be prosecution, there needs to be penalties, there needs to be punishments. Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Be sure to check out the sponsors we mentioned earlier. Check out the website, BlackBagResources.com. And if you really want to go deep and join the community, check out the Black Bag Resources Network. Thanks for listening.